Hi everyone, yasas, que kalosir sate to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. It is that time of year, again, Easter time, the time that we make our Greek Tsoureki, which is a sweet Easter bread. It's aromatic because it has classic flavors like mahlepi and masticha, a little bit of orange zest, some vanilla. My Tsoureki is definitely the best one I've ever had. It's fluffy, it pulls apart really beautifully. If you follow all of my steps and my tips, you will have the most beautiful and perfect Tsoureki that you've ever made, even if it's the first time. Let me show you how I make it. Okay, we're going to begin by grinding up the mahlepi seeds, and these seeds can be found in your local Mediterranean or Middle Eastern grocery store. I'll also put a link where you can get them online. They're so aromatic. These are really what gives the traditional flavor of Tsoureki. There's nothing that can be used as a substitute for it. If you can't find it, you could just completely leave them out and just add a little more vanilla and a little more citrus zest just to get more flavor in your Tsoureki, but nothing tastes like this. So we have some seeds over here. I'm going to put them in my coffee grinder and pulse it a few times until they are ground up on the medium side. We want some bigger pieces, some finely ground pieces. If you don't like to see any mahlepi seeds in your Tsoureki, you can finally grind them into a powder, and that'll work. And next we have masticha. This is mastic gum used for chewing. It's a natural gum. It has a really beautiful flavor, but we need a little bit of it just to get that Greek Tsoureki taste. So mastic gum also needs to be ground up in my little coffee grinder here, but you're going to need to add some sugar to it so it doesn't overheat and stick to the machine. So a little bit of sugar goes in. We're going to pulse it until it's finally ground into a powder, set it aside, and now we will get the starter going. So just to make sure that the yeast is nice and active, I get it started up in my mixing bowl. I have my KitchenAid mixer over here that's going to help me out a lot. Otherwise, you're going to have to knead it for much longer if you're doing it by hand. So in it, I'm going to add 1 1/4 cups of lukewarm milk. Lukewarm just means room temperature. You don't want it to be too hot, otherwise it'll kill the yeast. Too cold will take forever to activate it. That goes into the bowl with 1 teaspoon of sugar, a tablespoon of active dry yeast, and about 2 tablespoons of flour. Mix that all up and set it aside, and you'll know it's active when it forms like a foam on the top. It's going to look like a cloud. You could also smell it. It's going to smell really yeasty and nice. If this doesn't happen and if the water just looks flat, you're going to have to get a fresh batch of yeast so you don't waste all of your ingredients. The yeast is what makes the dough rise, so don't skip this step. Now I'm going to combine all of my dry ingredients together. I have 4 1/2 cups or 720 grams of bread flour. Bread flour is really the best flour to use for this. Now, during the time where there were shortages in the supermarket, I did make this with all-purpose flour and it works. I just need it a little bit more, a couple extra minutes, like about 4 or 5 extra minutes if you're using all-purpose flour, but the bread flour really gives you that fluffy, stringy Tsoureki that looks just like the Greek Tsoureki you get at the bakeries. So there's 4 1/2 cups here. I'll add a tablespoon of ground mahlepi. I always like to add a little bit more because I love the flavor. And then the zest of an orange, but since I don't have oranges, I'll just zest a couple of these clementines here. You can do the zest of a lemon if you prefer. There's a 1/2 teaspoon of salt in here, and then I'll add a little bit, about 1/2 teaspoon of the ground mastic and sugar combination. Whisk this all together, and once the starter is ready and it's nice and puffy the way it looks right now, I'm going to add a cup of granulated sugar, 2 large eggs in there. They have to be at room temperature, 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract, and then I'm going to add all of the flour ingredients in here with 4 ounces of soft room temperature unsalted butter. Just cut it into pieces and put it in there. Everything is going to knead on low speed with the dough hook attachment on the machine for about 10 to 12 minutes. If you're doing this by hand, I would knead it for about 15 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. You want the dough to get a good working. Then we're going to transfer it into a lightly greased bowl. Make sure that the bowl is going to be able to hold double the amount because it's going to rise in volume. Loosely cover it in plastic wrap and put this in the warmest place of your house. So I do have a dryer trick, and then if you don't want to use a dryer trick, you can put it in your microwave if your microwave is above your stove. You can do this overnight. This is a rich dough and it's going to take a long time to rise. I know The recipes sometimes say 2 hours. If your climate is really, really warm, it'll rise faster, but it usually takes around 3 or 4 hours to rise. You don't want to skip this step because the first rise is what's going to make the tsoureki really fluffy. So once the dough has risen, we're going to make 2 loaves out of this. You can make 2 big loaves or you can make 3 small little wreaths. You can do so much with this, but I'll show you both ways. You cut it in half if you're making 2 loaves, and then you cut each portion, or you divide each portion into 3 pieces. We're going to roll each portion out into a rope, take those 3 ropes and braid them together. And you could put 2 braids onto your baking tray that's lined with parchment paper. If you're making the smaller ones, you can do what I'm doing now, or you can make them even smaller. Like you could just do smaller versions of the big braids, or you can do these beautiful wreaths that I'm making. So I cut it in half, and then I still use the same amount of ropes, but I take 2 ropes at a time and I twist them together, and then I connect them to form a wreath. This is going to make 3 beautiful sized wreaths. You can give these away as gifts, or you can freeze them and enjoy them with your coffee for about a month. They stay fresh in the freezer for a while. So these go on the baking trays that are lined with parchment paper. I have some egg wash over here, which is just some egg yolks with some milk. You could use half and half. Whisk that all together and brush the tsoureki with the egg wash. I decorated the wreaths with just a sprinkling of sliced almonds. You can do that. You could leave them plain. If you have your Easter eggs, you could put those in the center. There are so many options, and I'll put them on the blog post. And then we're going to set it aside one more time for the second rise. This is going to sit at room temperature for about 30 or 35 minutes. You don't want it to double in volume because then they'll flatten out when they go in the oven. You just want them to puff up a little bit. In the meantime, you can heat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. These are going to bake in there for about 30 or 35 minutes until they're a beautiful mahogany color on the outside. They're going to be so soft and fluffy on the inside, but once they come out of the oven, you want to give them some time to rest, a good 30 minutes, so that way the steam settles and they're not like doughy tasting later on. Once you feel them, when they're done cooling, they're going to be so soft and fluffy. You can literally pull them apart and enjoy them. You're going to want to make some coffee and call some friends over. Of course, the full recipe is on the blog, dimitrasdishes.com. So you're going to want to check that out. I have a whole tsoureki guide on there as well. Just look at how fluffy these tsoureki are. They pull apart beautifully. They're soft, and if you can only smell them, you would probably want to eat them all. So good. I hope you guys give them a try. If you have any questions, post them down below and I'll help you troubleshoot before you make them. If you're making them for your Easter table, share pictures with me on Instagram. I'd love to see your recreations. Also, let me know how they come out in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I'll see you all next time. Yes, us.